Good morning, everyone. This is Diana Petruchina. How many of you guys wake up in the morning and are greeted by chirping outside your window? Living in Florida, there is a pretty good chance that every single one of you is. And living in Florida, there is a pretty good chance that the various types of chirping that are coming from the outside of your window are all coming from the same one bird, the northern mockingbird. This raspberry bush behind me actually used to be the home to a mockingbird family up until very recently. This bird is very historically significant, but the habits that it has in relation to mating and nesting make it particularly vulnerable to harm. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the northern mockingbird and their babies today. Because of their tendency to replicate many songs, this bird was caught and kept as a pet by both the rich and the poor throughout the 18th and the 19th century. Catherine Greer even writes that because of this practice, the northern mockingbird was depleted so badly in the wild that it got to the point where it was endangered. However, since then, the bird has made a comeback in the wild and is now of the least concern in relation to endangerment. David Sibley presents us with an online map of where the northern mockingbird can be found today. This range covers the entire United States. It covers southern Canada, northern Mexico, and even the Caribbean islands. So it's of the least concern now. But it's no wonder that this bird has become so culturally significant to us. And the Birds and Blooms of the United States, Anna Branning, summarizes that the northern mockingbird is the state bird for 5 different states. It's third only to the cardinal and the western meadowlark, which are the state birds for 7 and 6 states, respectively. The northern mockingbird has a rather interesting way of finding its mate. The Cornell Lab of Ornithology and FloridaGardener.com, both of which I'll be using for my sources from now on, explain that the bird has a territory where it searches for food, and it has a territory where it searches for a mate. The mating territory becomes of particular significance in the late spring to early summer months, at which point in time the male mockingbird can imitate up to 200 different songs to get the attention of the females. And once the two birds match up, they can either mate for the remainder of the season, up until the early summer when the babies have been raised, or even for the remainder of their lives, which in wild mockingbirds is about 8 years old. It's interesting that besides the vocalizations, one of the main reasons the female picks the male is based on how well he protects the nests, causing an evolution selection of more aggressive birds. Once the birds have paired up, the male mockingbird has an equally important responsibility for the survival of the brood. And the brood is a set of babies that the bird lays around the same time. The male is the one who builds the outside of the nest, and he actually builds more than one nest during a mating period. He builds 2 to 3 different nests. Then the female picks the one that she likes the most, and then she's the one that comes in and makes the inside lining of the nest nicer for them. She puts more of the softer grasses, and if she can find any fabric in there. But after she does this, she lays anywhere from 2 to 6 blue eggs with brown speckles on them. And then she will continue sitting on these eggs anywhere from 12 to 13 days. And if this isn't their first brood, the male actually goes back to the previous nest and is the one that is left in charge of feeding the nestlings in the previous nest. But the incubation period and the nestling period are both about 12 to 13 days. And what's interesting about this bird is that the babies actually leave the nest before they can fly. And there's about an 8-day difference in when the bird leaves the nest up until when it actually learns how to fly. But because the babies do leave before they can fly, the mortality rate for baby mockingbirds is about 42%. From the time the eggs are laid to the time that the birds learn how to fly, they have many predators. Crows, blue jays, snakes, opossums, squirrels, and cats all hunt for baby mockingbird eggs and nestlings. And while there's no way to protect them from all of life's dangers, the least we could do is at least make sure that we don't let our cats outside during the time that the mockingbirds are still learning how to fly and can't protect themselves. But even if we do take all of the precautions for keeping them safe, there isn't a guarantee that our mockingbirds will survive. The nest that we had we started out with 4 different eggs. By the time that the birds were ready to hatch, there was only 1 egg left, and about 2 days after it has hatched, it has disappeared. And Mama Mockingbird and Daddy Mockingbird are nowhere to be found as well. And although we have no way of knowing what happened to this baby, that Mockingbird family will forever be in our hearts. Thank you guys, and here's my index card.